What's going on, guys? My name is Nick Abraham, and in this video, I'm going to walk you guys through how to source off-market deals with cold emails. This is more for a PE or a VC firm, or even just a regular retail investor that's looking to source more off-market deals. We've done this for a couple of PE and VC firms at our agency, Leadbird, just to kind of give you guys a recap, because it's been some time since I've posted a video on the channel. We serve over 150 active clients at Leadbird. We've also built 4 SaaS companies that have over 5,000 users in the lead gen space. And I'm literally going to show you the quickest, most efficient way on how to build this internally and run a in-house cold email campaign to source off-market deals for you and kind of explain some of the things that I've seen doing this for a couple of clients. This is one of our clients, Equity Front Capital, where we generated 142 meeting ready leads for them. And honestly, this is probably the easiest campaign to run for us. And so I'm going to walk you through literally step by step exactly what we do, just in case you guys want to do it in-house. If you guys don't, then book a call with us at Libra.io, and then our team can definitely speak with you on how we can do this for you. But the process is super simple. So the first thing you want to do is build your lead list. And the thing I've found is, so with most PE and VC firms, like their deal criteria is mostly around a company's EBITDA or revenue. And you can't just go into Apollo, ZoomInfo, or any kind of contact database and use revenue as the main figure, because most of the times we find that it's just not accurate because this data isn't publicly available. And so they're making an estimate based off of like their headcount and, the revenue per employee in that industry to kind of make these assumptions of what their revenue is. And so what I would recommend is, instead of using revenue as like your North Star, look at your ideal investment or investments that you currently have and identify the average employee headcount and use that as the North Star. Or just keep it kind of generic and then do the filtering on the back end. And I'll kind of explain that in a moment. So that's the first thing to just kind of keep in mind. So there's tools like Apollo, which have pretty much like every industry available, but it's pretty general. So you can create a free account on Apollo and just kind of scroll through here and see if like the industry that you want to invest in, the companies that you want to buy are within this list. And if it's not, then what I recommend is using something like Ocean. So what Ocean is really good at is it can build a lookalike list really well. So what do I mean by that? If I type in, like, let's say you invest in lead gen agencies, that's like your ideal customer, right? So let's put in Libra.io. What it does is it will find accounts or companies that are exactly like Libra. So if we kind of just go through this list, you can kind of see just from looking at it that these are all like lead gen agencies, not just like regular agencies. These are all like lead gen agencies that are doing like B2B cold outreach. Like most of these agencies on here, I know. And so that's what I would do if like you need more of a niche list. But if you find that Apollo is good, I would definitely use that just because it's cheaper. And then when it comes to actually exporting the contacts, you could get an Apollo plan, which isn't that expensive. Same thing with Ocean. But the cheapest and most efficient way, if you just, and what I always recommend is, right, like think about it like if you're building a product, you want a MVP, right? So minimal viable product. And for this, you want a minimal viable campaign. So you want something very bare bone, very light, very cheap, and just quick and efficient to launch. And you're able to test and see if you're actually getting the results that you want. And then once you see that like small level success, then it's like, okay, let's go reinvest into this and make this the best we possibly can. And so what I would do is build out your criteria in Apollo or Ocean, whatever it may be. And it's super simple to do so, right? Like, you just select the contact or select the number of employees, put in job titles that, the people that you'd like to speak to, the industry, and then it's going to show you a ton of contacts. Then you can just take this search URL and then come to this website called exportlist.io. And then you could paste your Apollo search URL here, select how many contacts you need, and submit it. It's going to actually scrape the list for you on Apollo for way cheaper. And so it's an easy way to save money as well as be able to like actually export the leads. So that's what I would do. Similarly, like if there is a, niche website that you want to build a lookalike towards, you could use Ocean, but Ocean is a little bit expensive. It's more of an enterprise tool. They change their pricing all the time, but the last time we purchased it last year, I believe it was like $16,000 annually. And you can put the website URL and export list and get something that's very similar. So yeah, I think each search costs like $50. So very simple to do. But keep in mind that this only gets you like the list of companies. You need to then import that into Apollo and then kind of like play with it. So like if you come into Apollo, you'll see right here, you can include a list of companies, so like their website names, and then it's going to, build a filtering based off of those companies. So that's kind of how you can do it. If that's confusing, I have other videos on my channel that kind of explain how to like do that process. So that's how I would build my lead list. The next thing I would do is set up my email infrastructure. And like I mentioned, right, you guys are not email nerds like me. Like, you guys just need to get a minimal viable campaign up and going. So I would just pay to get the inboxes set up for you. You never want to use your primary email and infrastructure that you use for day to day just business, because it's going to ruin the reputation and deliverability of that inbox. And then all your regular emails are going to be going to spam, and people are going to actually miss it. And these are people that should probably not miss your emails. And so set up an entire alternate email infrastructure that you run all these cold emails through. Instantly has a done for you setup that I find really nice. So instead of Instantly, you can just order the inbox set up for by yourself. The reason why I don't recommend setting them up yourself is, unless you know how to, manage and set up DNS records or set up inboxes before, it's kind of tedious. You need to know a little bit on the technical side of things to kind of get this going. But you can order email accounts out of Instantly. And then what I would do is take them to Smartly and set them up in there. So that's basically how I'd set up the email infrastructure and kind of build out the lead list. Now let's talk about like crafting the actual email copy. So this is by far the easiest campaign to run cold emails for, because everyone wants to sell their company. That's like a very easy ask versus like if you're pitching a service and you're trying to, get them on a call. Most people aren't as interested in that. And so this is literally the bare bone basic template that we use for a majority of our PEVC firm clients, where it's literally just, hey, first name, we're looking to buy, and then we drop the type of industry, companies in the location, and happen to come across company name. Would you be open to getting your business value to see if this makes sense for you? And that's it. And everybody will reply saying, yeah, it seems interesting, because everyone wants to get their business valued. Everyone wants to see what their business could sell for, and everyone wants to sell their business, right? So the goal here is using cold email as like a top of funnel demand gen channel and getting a ton of responses. What I would recommend to do next is have an SDR or someone on your team to actually call all the interested leads and then qualify them over the phone, right? So if you don't have an SDR, or you don't have an intern or someone on your team that can actually call and qualify the companies, then just hire someone off of Upwork that is from like South America or something of that sort, has great English, can call them and literally just get the details for you via the phone, so that you can decide if it makes sense to actually get them on a call or not. Like, hey, just calling, saw you replied with interest to the email. Would love to get some general stats from you to see if it makes sense for an actual call. What was your last 12 months revenue? What's your EBITDA? Ask all the questions that you need. And then if they don't fit that criteria, then just let them know on the phone. Hey, looks like you're a little too small for us right now. I'm going to put you on file, and, we'll reach back out whenever in a year or two to see where you're at. And that's how I would go about it. Do not respond to all the people via email and actually, book calls with them. You will find that a lot of these companies are very small and, are not ideal companies. And that's kind of why they're looking for someone to buy them. And so that's kind of how I would run this whole entire cold email campaign. Keep it bare bone, keep it simple. Prove that it works, prove that, what you want at the end of the day is working. And then if it is, come to us, we'll scale it up for you guys. But yeah, that's the simplest, easiest way on how to source off market deals with cold emails.